The drama, the tension, the battle between the fans that want to respect Tolkien's work versus the fans that don't is continuing to rise. Can't you feel it, as we are only just a very short way away from the release of Rings of Power. And we have a lot of crazy information that's coming out about all of this. We have some of the audience reviews rolling in, and it is looking absolutely atrocious for Rings of Power already. We're going to be getting into all of that. There is a lot to get to, so let's jump right into it. Let's start with what Morfydd Clark has to say about Rings of Power and, you know, the fact that it's okay to shit all over Tolkien's work, apparently. So let's get into what she has to say. Apparently, she is insufferable in the series, by the way, as Galadriel. This is what she had to say about this entire thing. Clark spoke with Inverse, where she claimed Tolkien was a really complex person who wrote a really complex world. And this idea that anyone could know exactly what he would have wanted or what he would have liked is, I feel, nonsense. Well, that is a very nonsensical statement coming from her, considering the fact that Tolkien literally gave very clear descriptions about pretty much everything in his world. This is a weird excuse that a lot of people who are shills of Amazon are continuing to say about Lord of the Rings and Tolkien, is that he doesn't give very good descriptions about things. That is complete malarkey, and you have obviously never read Lord of the Rings if that is what you actually think, or you were just flat out lying, which is also a possibility. Tolkien also went into very strict you know, editing for some of the screenplays that were for some of the works of Lord of the Rings, that when they were trying to adapt it to cinema and as well in the past. So this is all complete BS coming from Morfydd Clark, but we have even more. So some people in the media have decided to just flat out tell you, don't bother reading Lord of the Rings. Don't read anything that is Tolkien. Just go in as an ignorant consumer and just watch Rings of Power and like it. Don't read Lord of the Rings before watching Rings of Power. It's fine. In defense of the ignorant viewer, it's okay. It's okay. They don't want criticism. They don't want backlash for the show. As you can see, the shills are working overtime on this. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, the show is currently still sitting at an 83%, which is down about 10 points from what it was when I was looking at it yesterday. This is coming from critics. There's something very weird happening to Rotten Tomatoes as well right now, where you can't actually see a lot of the reviews. Like, it doesn't give me any sort of option to see all of the reviews from critics, so there's something very weird happening with that as well. Just wanted to point that out. Over on Metacritic, Rings of Power is at a 71% with critics, even lower than it is on Rings of Power. But, you know, and just as a friendly reminder, as you know, we always need to remind everyone about this. The trailer, the first trailer that they released for Rings of Power, back when we first started to find out about the show, it currently sits at almost 2 million downvotes versus 130,000 upvotes. That is an astronomical number that we have never seen. We have never seen this type of backlash for anything before. And this is what some of the audience reviews for Rings of Power are saying. As you can see, it currently sits at a 2.5 rating for Rings of Power, and I believe as the show starts to come out, we'll start to actually see what the audience starts to think about the show on places like Rings of Power and Metacritic. And you already know that the media is prepped to start to release articles about how it's all just bots and it's all just trolls. They're all just trying to hate on the show. But as you can see, the 1-star reviews for Rings of Power is already much higher than in any other category, and it's not going to get any better. This show is going to be a complete disaster, and it is going to be a complete bomb for Amazon, as I hope that it will be. Now, I think that as far as the actual numbers go of the ratings and everything else, I think that a lot of people are going to tune in for this show. I think that is going to work out very well for Amazon, at least for the couple of first episodes, but then we'll continue to watch and see as this thing continues to fall apart. And I think we're going to have a Last Jedi type of situation here, where you have the critics pretty much for the most part giving glowing reviews for this show, even though there are definitely some outliers to that. And then you're going to see the audience completely criticize the show for the trash that it is. With that being said, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Like I said, Rings of Power is literally just around the corner. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll probably see it on the other side when it comes to all of that type of nonsense. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.